Father Tom Hurley is a very good friend and just an amazing guy who gives back again and again and again. It's a career path he chose, and he continues to do it, and he's particularly touched by all the families that come forward in times of need, but no one more so than his friends Madeline and Steve Napleton, who you'll meet in just a second. But first, let me say hi to Father Tom. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Nice to have you on, as always.
Always good to be on with you guys.
Good morning.
And that's Jane.
Hey, Jane.
Hi.
All right, Jane.
I'm good. Great
Nick's
to hear
here.
your voice.
Nick's here, the whole gang.
The whole gang.
Before we say hi to Stephen here, you are tasked with, and you signed up for this gladly. You're tasked with providing comfort and maybe guidance and help to people in their worst times and worst days. And the story of the Napletons is just particularly heartbreaking.
It's tragic. It's a parents. It's a whole family. It's everybody's worst nightmare, and they've gone through the worst. And it's no fun to be a part of that, but it is a privilege and it's a real honor to be able to accompany and walk with people in times like this.
On a much lesser scale, I have had a path where I have learned a lot about various conditions and illnesses that I would not have known otherwise without having a show like this. And it makes you a better person, frankly, to find out what others are going through. And there's a foundation that's been set up now for Madeline and Steve Napleton in honor of their daughter, Violet. So let me welcome Stephen here. Is it Steve or Stephen?
Steve would be fine. Thank you.
Nice to have you on. Tell us about Violet.
Thank you. Yeah, Violet was our firstborn. She just was a really spunky little 3-year-old. She loved, basically keeping us on our toes at any given second. And she was remarkably funny for a girl who was just 3 years old. And her personality was just really lit up a room anytime she was with us. So.
And one of the things that you guys went through as a family is dealing with the financial pressures that go on in treatment as well, because obviously that's a concern. You get bills, you want to pay your bills, but in the middle of this nightmare of all nightmares, that's a huge problem for folks, and you'd like to see people not go through that.
Yeah, Violet was diagnosed with a brain tumor in November of 2021. My wife called me because Violet had complained that her legs were hurting, and this is on top of a couple of other strange things. So I met her at Lurie Children's Hospital to get the ultimate diagnosis. And from that moment, I didn't go back to work for 4 months. When we got her prognosis, we were told that her particular form of cancer, Diffuse Intrinsic Pontine Glioma, or DIPG, had less than a 1% survival rate. And, when you hear that, your brain goes into a million places, but one of those places is not work. And it becomes, although necessary, we all have to pay our bills and we all have to do the things we need to do. Spending time with your child at that point is just supersedes everything. And
of course,
we were fortunate enough that we could manage it. I work with my brothers and my father, and they picked up my slack and were fantastic about it. But, for many people, it's just simply not an option to lose that income in the middle of, life. And that's one of the things that we set up the foundation to do, is to take a little of that burden off, so that when people are making sure their child gets the best care for a brain tumor, that, we provide them a little bit of support. We take a little bit of that pressure off of them during that time.
Steve, thank you for sharing your story about Violet, and I'm so sorry for your loss. What I find interesting when I visited the Violet Foundation website, and just to hear a little bit more about the foundation, and I didn't realize that the research for pediatric brain cancer hasn't changed in 40 years. So one of the things that you do is try to help with that research and fund it?
Yes. Yeah. So it was jarring when we heard that her particular form, the standard care had not changed since Neil Armstrong's daughter was diagnosed in 1962.
It's incredible.
And there's some very smart people who obviously want to help, but it's a tumor of your brainstem, and particularly among that tissue, you can't just take out the good with the bad, and you have to be extremely selective. And there are some very bright minds working on it now, but it affects about 300 kids a year in the United States. Even though it's very rare, it is the deadliest childhood cancer. And so, I think it's drawing some really devoted people, but they just need funding. And so, we wanted to, really mobilize our friends and family. And, we hope it spreads even beyond that to, recognize that there are these children out there who really deserve to get a better chance once they get this diagnosis. And we hope that one day we'll get there.
Well, we'll tell you how you can help in just a second. But Father Tom, one of the things you must encounter, and I assume you would say it's perfectly appropriate and right, is when people start to question God and question their faith at times like that.
Well, obviously, Steve, yeah. I mean, moments like this, you start asking that unanswerable question, why? And unfortunately, it's one that's going to plague us until we see God face to face, but right now we don't have the answers. But again, coming at it from a faith perspective, I'm one that tries to keep preaching what Jesus said to his friends, I'm with you always, I'm with you always. And so I believe that not only is the risen Lord with us always, but we have to be with each other always. And when I look at Steve and Madeline and the Napleton family and what they're trying to do to be with other families who are going through this curse and this cross, I stand in awe, that they're able to continue to do that, even in the midst of their own sadness.
And Stephen, just for a second, if you could address that, how you are able to put one foot in front of the other and go back to the most painful place of your life and service to others. Listen, are you just a great guy? Because in my world, you are.
No, I mean, really, we have one other daughter, and then we have a son on the way. But I'm sure many people could relate. Your love for your children is more than anything else. And so I think, for me, this is how we can keep Violet living in our hearts and have her name uttered by people who simply, she never would have crossed paths with. And it's not what we want, it's not enough, but
well, it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. And the legacy that you serve for her is it's very special. So we salute you and your wife, obviously, and Father Tom as well. Jane, what's the website so we can help?
violetfoundation.org.
And
Father Tom, is that the best way to go?
I think so. I'll let Steve answer that one, but I believe so. And we're May is a pediatric brain tumor or brain cancer awareness month, so that's why I'm joining the Napletons in this pursuit of raising some necessary funds, as Steve said, to help families who sadly are going through this, and then also to raise some money for this continued research that has to happen so we can get rid of this.
Yes. Violet-foundation.org, is that right, Steve?
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, we got beat out for the simpler one.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. We can manage a dash. Please help if you can. Please help if you can, and the work will be ongoing. In tough economic times, if there's no money in your world for something like this, but it touches your heart like it does ours, I'm sure there'll be volunteer opportunities and other ways you can help as well. Violet-foundation.org. Stephen, God bless you and your family. Safe birth on the new baby coming. Yep. Hugs all around. And same to you, Father Tom. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Jane.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll shoot that out.
Sure.
On social?
Violet-foundation.org. Go there.
Link that up. Throw the interview up. You know how to do it, Miranda. You don't need me guiding you, do you?
No.
Pretty good? Pretty good? You got it?
I don't even know if you know our website.
Sure you do.
WLSAM.com.
Oh, completely. That's the one I would have said. But you put it up on my socials, too?
Oh, absolutely, Stevie.
All right. Good. Thank you for that.